I think I think the link is there and it's becoming more established, and it's a little bit obvious for people to see. The pollution is one thing in terms of it affects bone, it affects heart, it affects lungs, and so on. There's an increased sort of mortality associated with some of those things. But my assumption is that the future is with you guys, and you're very smart, and you'll figure a way of being able to communicate with one another, and to bring your focus and energy and solutions to these problems, in innovative ways. So I think, and I think most, but although we sort of, people have slightly different emphases or different sort of priorities that over, if you look back in terms of sort of history, in terms of time, in terms of thousands of years, but we're still sort of social creatures. We still like telling stories, and we're still influenced by different examples. So I think to make any progress, it always has to be a story, and it has to be relatable. And sometimes you can have incredible progress in no time at all. So I'm a bit simple. So I've got those sorts of assumptions that with the help of your network and others, and the way that you're able to make use of the gifts that you have, the capabilities that you have, and the other sort of systems and technology, this will get resolved very quickly. So I've got this utter faith in the despite our flaws in the human species, that would be we'll show more levels of innovation, curiosity, responsibility, and we will make a lot of progress. Maybe that's being too hopeful, but I think you'd be surprised how well things will be in the future to come.
No, I completely agree. I think everything has become so evident now, and the consequences of how environmental issues affect our health are really having people stand up to make a difference, right? And thinking, oh, hey, how is this affecting me? So what can I do about it? So I agree. I think there's definitely reasons to be hopeful. The final question will be asked by Sayan, who I will hand it over to now.
Hello, Dr. Mahmood. Uh, First of all, I agree with you that leadership starts from you, first yourself, then you can think for other people, right? So I absolutely agree with you. So this is my last question to you. Could you share some advice for the listeners to maintain healthy bones in changing climate? Because climate is changing, we are losing our health. So please, sir.
Thank you. That's a really valuable question, and thank you for asking. So I think first of all, I suppose the main thing to keep in mind is that we're sort of changing at this very fast rate. So our bones are changing, every aspect of our biology is changing. So if they can have that sort of sense of sort of awareness that it's not that we had the bone, or with this age, or it's in a state of flux, and anything that we do and everything that we do has an impact on all of those things. So please be a little bit mindful about what you're eating. Have some good, nutritious, mostly plant-based foods, nuts, greens, those sorts of things. Those will have calcium, vitamin D. We can make it in the skin, but sometimes only in the summer, depends on your climate and your sort of which part of the world you're in. If you can do some gentle exercise and build muscle and improve your strength and so on, those are really valuable things. If you've got any other sort of medical condition or whatever it is, get help for that. If you are taking medicines, be careful that you're taking the right amount for the shortest period of time. the things that have a really massive negative impact beyond sort of environment and so on are things that we might consume that are not good for us. So smoking, alcohol, inactivity, those are really big things that can have a massive impact that we want to be, very mindful of. And, that's something that we're doing, that we need to reduce and to stop and to get help if we need to get help. And I think if we did these sort of basic, sort of simple stuff, then you would be in a good place. And then you really, I touched on earlier that we're social creatures. So for us to be really successful, and there's some blogs on stuff that we might, and I might just share it from this thing here. There's loads of different things that we're sort of sharing about, what makes a successful life. Or this, you heard of something called the Blue Zones? Have you heard of that? And there are groups of parts of the world where they live for like 180, 100 years quite easily. It's called the Blue Zone. So people who live a long life, they have a bunch of different things that are happening there. Their nutrition is a little bit sort of mostly plant-based. It's, this sort of thing. Avoid sort of processed foods, sugars and stuff. And there's a lot of activity involved. There's a lot of sort of, walking and such like. But there's also a community. We are social creatures. For us to be successful, we have to have a bunch of different things happening, but the social part of it is really critical. And if you're always learning and you're growing and you've got forward momentum and you paying attention to some of these other things, and you've got this community which you guys have through this forum and others, then you've got some of the key ingredients for you to have a very successful life and to be able to not only contribute to your own development, but the development of people around you and beyond, and impact the whole planet. So I think what you guys are doing, you have the genesis of what you need to do and continue to build and serve and grow your own sort of capabilities, but also to, in the process, help everybody else around you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Doctor, I agree with you. It was your nice answer. Yeah, I think we should avoid, the sugar and the smoking alcohol, and we should add more and more fruits, and and also, my doctor suggests to take more sunlight, and and also suggest for exercise day to day. Yeah. Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
you.
Thank you so much, Sayan, for that great question. And thank you, Dr. Mahmoud, for your answer. I think having these examples of the blue zones really puts into perspective how being active, eating well, engaging with your community can definitely impact your life in the long run. So I think those are definitely some pieces of advice that we can all take home and start acting and following now, so that we can have better bone health towards the future. And I'm just looking at some of the charts, and it's incredible how different their lifespan is just by following these guidelines that you were mentioning.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. And I'm really grateful to you for, making time to speak with me. And then if you have any question to do with bone or anything, or health generally, or anything else you feel I can be of some use, and if you can, please look at the questionnaire and then share it with some of your community and give us some feedback. And, if there's anything that we can do to be of some support or resource for you, we have loads of like training classes and nutrition stuff. We've got a whole series of different things, and we can build more stuff just for you, just so that, we can do our little bit to get some information that you might find helpful. So anything we can do to help you, we're more than happy to.
Thank you so much. I think the questionnaire also was very insightful. So I do recommend that everyone who's listening either now or on the streaming takes a look at it. We'll post it on the screening as well. And thank you really for your time and all these insightful answers. It was great talking to you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mahmood.
Bye, Dr. Mahmood. And thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining.